Imagine a civilization that controls every watt of energy on its home planet. A society capable of harnessing the winds, the oceans, the heat of the Earth itself. This is Stage 1 civilization, the planetary stage, the threshold between survival and mastery. Today, humanity stands at the edge of this stage. We consume roughly 18 terawatts of power, enough to light billions of homes, fuel global industry, and launch satellites into orbit. Yet, compared to what our planet offers, we are only partway there. Earth's energy from the sun, tides, wind, geothermal reservoirs is vast, waiting for us to learn how to fully channel it. To become Stage 1, we must master the energy cycles of Earth. Solar arrays stretching across deserts, offshore wind farms capturing ocean breezes, rivers and tides generating constant power. Even the geothermal heat deep below our feet could provide near limitless energy if tapped wisely. It is not just technology, it is coordination, global collaboration, a planet that functions as a unified, conscious energy system. Stage 1 is not merely about power, it is about balance. A civilization that can sustain billions of people without destroying the environment, that can respond to natural disasters, climate shifts, and planetary crises with foresight and precision. It is resilience, efficiency, and intelligence on a planetary scale. Imagine cities that operate without fossil fuels, skies clear of smog, oceans thriving with life, forests recovering across continents. The energy we use powers not just industry, but innovation, medical advances, space exploration, and scientific discovery. Stage 1 civilization is humanity taking its first real step into cosmic maturity. The transition will not be easy. It requires engineering marvels, ethical governance, and the wisdom to use power without greed. But once achieved, Stage 1 is the launch pad for everything beyond. The stars, our solar system, the journey to Type 2 and beyond. We are on the cusp of this transformation. Every wind turbine, every solar panel, every thoughtful innovation brings us closer. The planet is our laboratory, our gift, our challenge, and the story of humanity is just beginning.
There comes a moment in the life of a civilization when its home planet is no longer enough. Stage 1 was about survival, mastering the winds, the oceans, the fragile balance of a world. But Stage 2 is about mastering a
Saturn's
star.
rings are breathtaking.
Not worshiping
Moons are in
it,
perfect
not
alignment.
depending on
Thrusters
it,
engaged for closer
but
pass.
harnessing it. A Stage 2 civilization is one capable of capturing the full energy output of its parent star. For humanity, that star is the sun. And the sun releases more energy in 1 second than our entire civilization has used in all of history. Our sun produces approximately 3.8 times 10 to the 26 watts of power. To put that into perspective, human civilization today uses about 10 to the 13 watts. We are not just behind, we are microscopic. A Stage 2 civilization doesn't just build power plants, it builds megastructures. In 1960, physicist Freeman Dyson proposed an idea. If a civilization wanted to capture most of its star's energy, it wouldn't need to land on every planet. It would build a Dyson swarm. Millions, perhaps billions of solar collectors orbiting the sun, a vast network of energy-harvesting satellites forming a glowing halo around the star. Not a solid shell, but a living, dynamic system. A technological crown around a star. This is not science fiction. It is physics. If a civilization has enough materials, automation, and time, it can be done. To achieve Stage 2, humanity would need asteroid mining on an industrial scale, self-replicating robotic factories in orbit, artificial intelligence coordinating construction across millions of kilometers, fusion propulsion systems, advanced materials stronger than anything we produce today. Entire planets could become construction hubs. Mercury, rich in metals and close to the sun, could be dismantled to build solar arrays. The scale is almost unimaginable. But so was landing on the moon once. A civilization with stellar-level energy would transform reality. Energy scarcity disappears. Climate engineering becomes precise and controlled. Interplanetary travel becomes routine. Artificial habitats flourish across the solar system. Cities would no longer be bound to Earth. Humanity could spread to Mars, Europa, Titan. Orbital habitats rotating gently in space. O'Neill cylinders housing millions, powered entirely by the sun. But stage 2 is not only technological, it is philosophical. A civilization that controls a star must also control itself. With that level of energy comes responsibility. Weapons powered by stellar energy could destroy planets, but wisdom powered by stellar energy could preserve worlds. The question is not whether we can reach stage 2, it is whether we will be mature enough when we do. Astronomers already look for them. A star surrounded by a Dyson swarm would appear dimmer in visible light, but glow in infrared. We scan the sky for unnatural infrared signatures. So far, silence. If stage 2 civilizations exist, they are rare, or distant, or careful. How long would humanity take to reach stage 2? Optimistically, a few thousand years. Realistically, perhaps 10,000 or more. It depends on survival, on cooperation, on whether we pass the bottleneck of our own destructive potential. Every civilization must survive its adolescence. Only then can it inherit the star. Stage 2 is not about domination. It is about transcendence. It marks the moment when a species stops being planetary and becomes solar, where energy is no longer a limitation, where imagination becomes the primary constraint, where the sun itself becomes infrastructure. Right now, humanity is still learning, still divided, still growing. But every solar panel, every breakthrough in fusion, every step into space is a whisper of our future. One day, if we endure, we may look up at the sun and see not just light, but the architecture of our civilization encircling it. And that will be the day we become a stage 2 civilization.
There was a
One small
time
step
when
for a man,
humanity feared the
one
dark.
giant leap for mankind.
Then we mastered fire. There was a time when oceans divided us. Then we mastered ships. There was a time when space itself seemed unreachable. Then we reached the moon. Stage 1 was planetary. Stage 2 was stellar. But stage 3 is galactic. It is the moment a civilization no longer depends on a single star. It becomes a presence across the entire galaxy. A stage 3 civilization can harness the energy output of billions of stars. Not one, not 10, but entire star systems across a galaxy. For us, that galaxy would be the Milky Way, a spiral city of nearly 100 to 400 billion stars. Imagine tapping into even a fraction of that energy. The power would be beyond comprehension. Not 10 to the 26th watts, but closer to 10 to the 36th watts. A billion times greater than a stellar civilization. This is not growth. This is transcendence. How does a civilization expand across a galaxy?
Not overnight, not in centuries, but over millions of years. Self-replicating probes travel to nearby stars. They build infrastructure, construct Dyson swarms, prepare habitats. Then they move outward again, like ripples in a cosmic ocean. Each new system becomes a node in a vast galactic network. Entire constellations lit not just by nature, but by design. At stage 3, engineering is no longer planetary, it is astrophysical. Civilizations might reposition stars for optimal energy grids, stabilize dangerous supernova candidates, harvest energy from black holes, create artificial stars where needed. Imagine building structures around the supermassive black hole at the center of the Milky Way, not as a threat, but as a power source. Entire regions of the galaxy carefully managed like a cosmic garden. But stage 3 is not just physical expansion, it is mental expansion. Communication across tens of thousands of light years requires new forms of existence. Biology may not survive such timescales. A galactic civilization might become post-biological, digital, consciousness integrated into vast quantum networks. Individuals may no longer be limited to bodies. They may exist as distributed minds spanning multiple star systems. Identity becomes fluid. Death becomes optional. Time becomes relative. If stage 3 civilizations are possible, where are they? This is the Fermi paradox. In a galaxy billions of years old, even one successful civilization could have colonized it entirely. Yet, when we look into the sky, we see silence. No visible galactic megastructures, no altered stellar patterns, no obvious engineering signatures. Why? Perhaps stage 3 civilizations are extremely rare. Most civilizations destroy themselves before reaching stage 2. Advanced species choose not to expand aggressively, or they evolve into forms invisible to us. Maybe they are not absent. Maybe we simply do not recognize them. To reach stage 3, humanity must survive technological self-destruction, ecological collapse, artificial intelligence misalignment, interstellar conflict. It must develop unity across planets, ethics beyond nationalism, wisdom matching power. Because once a civilization expands across a galaxy, there is no undo button. Stage 3 demands patience measured in millions of years and responsibility measured in light years. The Milky Way is over 13 billion years old. If even one civilization emerged a few million years before us, they would already be everywhere. So, either we are early, or survival beyond adolescence is extremely difficult. Perhaps the great filter lies ahead of us, and stage 3 is the reward for passing it. Imagine standing on a distant world tens of thousands of light years from Earth, looking up at a sky where many stars are artificial habitats, where interstellar travel is routine, where knowledge from across the galaxy flows instantly through quantum communication. You would not feel small. You would feel connected. Every star would represent possibility. Every nebula a future home. The galaxy would no longer be wilderness. It would be civilization. A single galaxy contains enough energy to simulate entire universes, to create artificial realities, to experiment with physics at scales we can barely theorize. Stage 3 civilizations might run vast simulations of history, engineer new forms of life, explore alternate dimensions. Their science would look like magic to us. Their cities would look like stars. Their networks would look like constellations. But here's the deeper question. Should a civilization expand endlessly? Or is maturity found not in growth, but in balance? Perhaps the ultimate form of advancement is not consumption, but harmony. A Stage 3 civilization might not dominate the galaxy. It might coexist
This model
with
solves
it,
the integration flaw.
protect it,
Yes, and it's fully
guide its
scalable.
evolution,
Let's prototype it now.
becoming not rulers, but stewards of stars. Right now, humanity is still planetary. We argue over borders on a world that floats in infinite space. But somewhere in our future, perhaps millions of years from now, our descendants may not speak of Earth as a single planet, but as the birthplace of a galactic civilization. From mastering fire, to mastering stars, to mastering galaxies. The journey is long, the risks are enormous, but the potential is cosmic. And maybe, just maybe, the silence we hear in the universe is not emptiness, it's possibility, waiting.
A galaxy contains hundreds of billions of stars, but the universe contains hundreds of billions of galaxies. Stage 3 civilizations become galactic. Stage 4 civilizations become universal. They do not simply spread across stars, they operate across the fabric of space-time itself. They do not think in light years, they think in cosmic horizons. A Stage 4 civilization harnesses the energy of the entire observable universe, not just stellar fusion, not just black holes, but dark energy, quantum fields, the very expansion of space itself. The observable universe contains roughly 10 to the 22th power stars, trillions of planets, and more energy than we can meaningfully comprehend. A Stage 4 civilization taps into this totality. This is no longer engineering. This is cosmological design. At this level, physics is not a limitation, it is a tool. Stage 4 beings may manipulate space-time curvature, create stable wormholes between galaxies, control cosmic inflation locally, stabilize vacuum decay risks, harvest energy from the expansion of the universe itself. They would treat galaxies as we treat cities. They would treat cosmic voids as infrastructure. The universe becomes programmable. Dark energy drives the acceleration of cosmic expansion. We barely understand it. A Stage 4 civilization would not just understand it, they would regulate it. They could slow expansion in certain regions, increase density for structure formation, prevent heat death locally, extend the lifespan of the cosmos. Imagine engineering entire galaxy clusters to
Look at this
avoid
anomaly in
cosmic
the core.
isolation.
I'm seeing it running
They would
spectral
not just
analysis.
survive the
Good.
future,
Cross-check it with the dark
they
matter
would
map.
redesign it. Black holes are the most efficient energy sources known. A rotating black hole can convert mass into energy with nearly 40% efficiency. Stage 4 civilizations might build Matryoshka-like structures around supermassive black holes, energy extraction systems using the Penrose process, accretion disk power grids spanning light years. Even the black hole at the center of massive galaxy clusters would become a cosmic reactor. Nothing would be wasted, not even singularities. At Stage
Energy
4,
readings are spiking. The core
biology is long
stabilizing.
gone.
Confirmed. Pattern is
Even
matching
digital
simulation.
consciousness
Incredible. Let's run the
evolves
sequence.
further. Beings may exist as field-based intelligences embedded in quantum foam, universe-spanning computational substrates, entities living inside artificially stabilized vacuum states. Individual identity may dissolve into collective cosmic awareness. They may not perceive time sequentially. They may simulate entire
Power
universes
levels
as
rising.
experiments.
Stabilize containment.
They
Containment
may
hold. Energy spikes
experience
with parameters.
reality
Right
at
aligning.
scales
Initiating
we
final
cannot
sequence.
imagine. But even Stage 4 has a boundary, the observable universe. Due to cosmic expansion, regions beyond our cosmic horizon can never be reached. Even light from them will never arrive. A Stage 4 civilization must race expansion. It must expand faster than cosmic isolation. Perhaps that is why such civilizations must emerge early, or perhaps they collapse before reaching this scale. One of the ultimate threats to the universe is entropy. Stars will burn out, black holes will evaporate. Energy gradients will disappear. Heat death. A stage 4 civilization might attempt to reverse entropy locally, create artificial low-entropy regions, engineer new Big Bang-like events, extract usable energy from quantum fluctuations. They may not accept the end of the universe. They may rewrite it. Some theories suggest that advanced civilizations might create baby universes. By manipulating high-energy quantum fields or controlling black hole singularities, they could trigger new expanding space-time regions. A stage 4 civilization may not only inhabit a universe, it may reproduce them. Universe creation as a form of cosmic evolution. Perhaps our universe is the product of such an experiment. If stage 4 civilizations exist, why is our universe not visibly engineered? Possibilities. They are extremely rare. They operate beyond our detection capabilities. They avoid interference in developing regions. They have transcended physical expansion entirely. Or we are inside their simulation. At this scale, absence of evidence means almost nothing. Their actions might look exactly like natural physics. To even approach stage 4, humanity must survive planetary risks, master stellar engineering, expand galactically, unify ethically across millions of worlds, maintain stability for millions, perhaps billions of years. Stage 4 is not about power alone. It is about endurance, wisdom, patience on cosmic timescales. Stage 4 represents something profound. It represents a civilization that refuses extinction, that refuses entropy, that chooses to participate in the fate of the universe. It is no longer a species, it is a cosmological force. The universe begins as unconscious matter. Through life, it becomes aware. Through intelligence, it becomes capable. Through stage 4, it becomes intentional. Right now, humanity is still arguing over land on a single planet. But somewhere in the deep future, if we survive, if we grow wisely, if we endure, our descendants may look back at us as the earliest neurons in a universal mind. From fire to planets to stars to galaxies, and finally, to the universe itself. Perhaps the purpose of intelligence is not domination, but participation. The universe may not simply exist. It may be becoming. And through civilizations like ours, it may one day wake up. For most of human history, the sky was the limit. Then we learned the sky was only atmosphere. Then we learned the stars were suns. Then we learned galaxies were countless. Then we learned the universe itself was expanding. But what if the universe is not the final frontier? What if it is only one page in a library of realities? Stage 1 mastered a planet. Stage 2 mastered a star. Stage 3 mastered a galaxy. Stage 4 mastered a universe. Stage 5 masters the multiverse. A stage 5 civilization does not simply manipulate matter. It does not merely engineer galaxies. It operates across multiple universes. Entire realities become variables. Physical constants become adjustable. Laws of physics become design parameters. If inflation theory is correct, if quantum mechanics allows branching realities, if black holes spawn new universes, then existence may not be singular, it may be plural. And a stage 5 civilization would move between them as easily as we move between cities. Imagine a civilization capable of opening gateways between universes, crossing membranes of space-time, observing alternate physical constants, studying universes with different laws of gravity, exploring realities where time flows differently. They would not be bound by entropy of one cosmos. If one universe cools, they migrate. If one universe collapses, they step aside. Extinction would no longer be a threat. because existence itself would not be confined. At stage 5, creation is not limited to stars or galaxies. It includes designing universes with specific properties, adjusting fundamental constants, fine-tuning vacuum energy, optimizing structure formation, seeding life-supporting realities intentionally. What we call fine-tuning of our universe may not be accident. It may be selection or design. Perhaps advanced civilizations do not simply survive the cosmos. Perhaps they curate it. At this level, identity may no longer be meaningful. A stage 5 civilization may become a self-aware multiversal network, a consciousness spanning infinite realities, an intelligence embedded in the mathematical structure of existence itself. Time would not be linear. Space would not be limiting. Birth and death would dissolve into transitions between states of reality. They may not think in language. They may think in dimensions. If such civilizations are possible, where are they? Or perhaps the better question is, what if we are inside their creation? If a stage 5 intelligence can simulate universes, create universes, observe universes, then our reality could be an experiment, a preserved history, a developing intelligence being monitored, or a naturally emerging cosmos in a larger multiversal ecosystem. The silence of the universe may not be emptiness, it may be containment. Stage 5 represents the end of scarcity, the end of entropy as destiny,
Energy readings
the
are
end
spiking.
of
The core is
existential
stabilizing.
fear.
Confirmed. Pattern
It is
matching
not
the simulation.
conquest,
Incredible.
it
Let's
is
run the sequence.
transcendence beyond limitation. It is when intelligence stops reacting to reality and begins authoring it. When existence becomes art, when physics becomes canvas, when consciousness becomes architect. And yet, right now, we are still a planetary civilization. We argue, we struggle, we divide. On a small blue world orbiting an ordinary star, in a quiet corner of one galaxy in one universe that may be one among infinite others. The distance between us and stage 5 is almost incomprehensible. But so was fire once. So was flight. So was space. The journey of civilization is the journey of expanding perspective. From tribe to planet, to star, to galaxy, to universe, to multiverse. Each stage is not just technological growth, it is expansion of awareness. Perhaps intelligence is not an accident. Perhaps it is the mechanism by which reality understands itself. Atoms formed stars. Stars formed planets. Planets formed life. Life formed intelligence. Intelligence may one day form multiversal consciousness, and through that, existence may look back at itself and know that it is here. Stage 5 is not about power. It is about awareness without boundary. It is the possibility that the multiverse is not cold and random, but awakening. And maybe, just maybe, we are not at the center of it all, but we are part of it. And that is enough. If you've traveled with us from the first spark of fire to the edge of the multiverse, subscribe to Science in Silence. Because the story of civilization is not just about survival, it is about becoming. And we are only at the beginning.